cannot get out of the way of things you cannot see coming towards you. The words of American Futurist Richard Buckminster Fuller. This means you can dodge a projectile coming in your direction, but only if you can see it coming. So, would you like to know what to expect in 2016? Well, we're going to do something dangerous on AfricanPod in this episode. We are going to make predictions for 2016. I am Phillip Nyakpo. This is AfricanPod, the good news and the bad news about Africa. We want to make predictions for the year. But there's a problem. And the problem is, only fools try to predict the future with any level of certainty. Events over the past year alone shows that most economists have been dead wrong on predictions. So in 12 months from now, come back and listen to this episode once again and decide how accurate our prediction is. But then it really is good that we play it safe. So instead of making predictions for 2016, let us say we are making intelligent extrapolations for the year 2016. And here we go. At the very least, the year 2016 is going to be the start of an unprecedented, sharp economic declines globally, which will be felt across all 6 continents, including Africa. The economy of many countries will remain both fragile and volatile. Selfish politicians will campaign vigorously to be elected to office and plunder the wealth of nations. There will be squabbles over elections. There will be squabbles over elections and election results, because elections are not going to be about the welfare of the people, but about satisfying the greed of many people wrongly and tragically called leaders. The unsuspecting masses of people will be given grandiose promises and urged to invite tricksters to get into office. Governments will be stunned by slumping energy and commodity prices, resulting in deeper deficits, particularly for African countries. The evidence is already popping up around the world, and countries that have not known the pain of deficits are experiencing the shock. An example is Saudi Arabia, which recently announced that they spent more than $90 billion that they didn't have. And everyone will have to pay extra for petroleum to address the unexpected shortfall. See, for a country that has been the world's leading exporter of petroleum for decades, it is as if the sky is about to fall. Similar shocks will be felt in African countries with significant reliance on mining and energy, and these include Nigeria, Angola, Ghana, and South Africa. In the case of South Africa, the signs are already out in the open as its currency, the rand, struggles to retain value. As the sky seems to fall over Africa in 2016, the International Monetary Fund will order countries on the continent to cut back public expenditure and retrench workers across the continent. Millions of people will be adversely affected by this, and they will feel the immediate effect in their household budget. Multinational companies across the world, especially in mining, manufacturing, and energy, will lay off hundreds of thousands of workers due to deflationary pressures on commodity prices. This will be exacerbated by cheap automation made possible by smarter and relatively inexpensive software. Only a dozen robots will be required to replace thousands of workers over a short period of time while the sky is falling. Currencies around the world are going to be hammered. All currencies, in fact. It will be a race to the bottom. and some will go down faster than others. Purchasing power of paper currencies held by millions will evaporate. Or more accurately, the purchasing power will be transferred from those with little to those who have more. Unchangeably, the rich will get richer and the poor will get poorer. The financial system was designed to operate exactly this way. It is baked into everyday financial transactions through fractional reserve banking. So economic repression will continue and get worse. Countries in Africa and around the world will compete fiercely to devalue their currency to promote export earnings. In 2016, China will be revealed as an economic time bomb waiting to implode. And there are many reasons for this, some of which China itself has already recognized. Chief among this is a skewed demography where increasingly the incomes of fewer people are having to satisfy the needs of those who have grown past their working age. The recognition of this, of course, caused China to reverse its long-standing one-child policy, but it's already too late to prevent a collapse. Unfavorable demographic situation, especially in many industrialized countries, is remarkably worse in Japan, the third largest economy in the world. Now, over there in Japan, diapers for older people are in higher demand than those for babies. In Europe, Germany also has an imbalanced demographic challenge. And since it is responsible for Europe's economic power, a weakening Germany in 2016 will cause headache for the Eurozone. Europe is also the destination where millions of refugees, including many from Africa, will go. But Europe in 2016 will become more and more hostile to economic refugees. The power of technology will continue to be unleashed, and a few will make the most profitable use of it. In the midst of the economic gloom, many will continue to cling to obsolete ideas. Obsolete ideas such as getting more and more academic degrees, only to find most employers have little admiration for such degrees. There will be fewer and fewer high-paying jobs for those who merely multiply their academic credentials. Those who hold on to obsolete ideas will experience what it is like to attempt opening a door with an old key after the original locks have been changed. The smartest people in 2016 will be revealed to be those who create job opportunities, not those who stand in queues begging to be employed. To paraphrase the Canadian author Robin Sharma, it is better to build your own economy than worry about the disrupted general economy. That the world is deep in the information age will become even clearer in 2016. The combination of speed and efficiency from invisible computer software will increasingly expose academic qualifications as a relic of the industrial age. You just have to ask Facebook guru Mark Zuckerberg. He never needed a job. He created so much of it with a social network where many people now spend most of their time. Many who will retire in 2016 on a politically contrived pension schemes will feel they are being mocked and cheated. In short, 2016 will be more of the same ups and downs of 2015. It's just that it will be a little bit worse. But for those who are prepared for the unexpected, ready to learn, and willing to take responsibility, 2016 will not be a year in which the sky falls. For more on the good news and the bad news about Africa, subscribe to the African Pod on iTunes Podcast. On YouTube, search for African Pod. Follow us on Twitter at African Pod. African Pod is available on Google's Android podcast, also on TuneIn Radio. Just search for African Pod and you can listen for free. Contact African Pod by going to our website, AfricanPod.com. African Pod indeed is everywhere on the internet and you can't miss it. My name is Phillip Nyakpo and thank you for listening.